Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Metaworld News. These are going to be, in any second as it were, our headlines for the week ending the 4th, no, yes, the 14th of July, 2019.
That
There,
works.
that's the hard bit over words. It's called the memory sync or
Excellent.
whatever. Right. Now, this show brings you headlines concerning social virtual worlds and haptic interfaces in virtual reality and all that kind of stuff. We're not too obsessed with all this fancy helmets you put on, just keeping you appraised of what is sort of new on that front. And as far as the actual experiences are concerned, we like social virtual worlds, though we do occasionally mention something that is supposed to be um, an out of the ordinary or pioneering experiment. Let's get on with it. Anyway, you can. My name, by the way, is Mal Burns. That's two words. But you can find me on Twitter as one word. In other words, twitter.com/Malburns. MALBURNS. And there's an additional Twitter feed for this show, which is twitter.com/MetaWorldNews. And there is a third Twitter feed, which we don't really cover here, but it's for arts and destinations in that walled garden of Second Life. Yeah, the good old granddaddy of it all. And that is twitter.com/Malburns_writer. And both the M and the R in those two words are capitals as opposed to the old lowercase of the others. There, I think I covered it all. The only thing I didn't cover is introducing the person sitting next to me, who's James Atloud. He's twiddling the knobs and pressing the buttons to keep all our different cameras sort of working. And well, as you can see, he's got a big pad for in front of him for switching views and stuff like that, haven't you, James?
Oh, yes.
Hello.
Button pressing is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah,
I do it all day long.
I know. Press them buttons, boy.
You betcha.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. So to get on with the shenanigans, so to speak, quiet week. To be honest, news wise, serious news wise, I think we've really only got about 8 items to cover this week. But as I said, the all the links, and unless I say otherwise, you can find in the twitter.com/Malburns feed. And the first one I've chosen today is a link to vrfocus.com. That's VR, the letters, and then focus, as in focusing your eyes or your projectors or whatever. But all one word, squashed into one. So vrfocus.com. And this was, well, actually, oh yes, 10th of July. This was posted a few days ago. According to the link, it was just posted. It's in the section called July, so they can't have many, can they? Right. Watch this travel levels melt away with VR thanks to Flixbus and in-flight VR. Um, we've heard about, out of home VR being used before, and I think it was last week we had an instance of something where VR is clearly used to distract you from whatever's going on or complement whatever's going on. This one's actually a new one because, let's see, let me move this down. Basically, three routes in France and Spain are actually featuring VR. Um, Now, in flight VR, I think. No, actually, Flixbus is collaborating with a company called InFlight VR for this. So this is strictly on the ground rather than flying, if you see what I mean. Um, but here we are. Here's a Flixbus for you. Basically, that thing is equipped with VR kit. So if you're traveling from France to Spain, or presumably vice versa, you can just dump the thing on your head and get some entertainment on what might otherwise be a very boring journey. I mean, despite the flashy looks of those things, they bus journeys, like train journeys, they're really a bit boring. Although one of the lovely pleasures of big buses and trains, of course, is that this is unusual for some people. You can actually look out the window. So maybe you won't want VR after all. You may want to look at the panoramas of the south of France as you're moving into Spain. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you'll find more about this at vrfocus.com. Not much more here to actually read out to you, just more pretty pictures, basically. Right. Um, Now, this next link comes from Businesswire. Again, this is all one word, businesswire.com. And most of the stuff you find on this site is more or less sort of just press releases, basically. Um, This is simply, I mean, this is really for technical people if you want. It's not linked to Seattle as well. Pixvana, a virtual reality solutions provider specializing in corporate learning and training, has introduced something called Spin Studio 2, which brings groundbreaking improvements to its industry leading XR platform creation, editing, and distribution. Purpose built for learning and development teams looking to integrate immersive experiences into their curricular at scale. Um, Coupled with Spin Studio 2 is Spin Studio Lite, a new free solution that you can use. Yes, that's nice for streamlined virtuality casting. So if this area of activity is of interest to you, you can check out this release at businesswire.com. It was on July 10th, and well, the name of the article, Scale the Creation of Distribution of Enterprise Training. The headline doesn't actually mention Spin Studio or the company, Pixvana for that matter. Um, yeah, nothing much. Oh, hang on, I'll tell you what. We should do an on the fly here, and I'm actually quickly following the link to the Spin Studio Lite site itself. Share your 360 videos with your VR headsets. And there again, you actually have to enter your name and address to sign up for it. And it's freezing my browser.
Mm.
Or maybe it's no, sorry, it's just nowhere to scroll to. Never mind. Let's put that one away, and we'll put that one away too. Right. So onward and upward to, well, more or less backwards and downwards, really, isn't it? It's
Mm.
Microsoft. Post, however, is at uploadvr.com. Slash remix dash 3D, oddly enough. Right, basically, the news is that Microsoft are actually shutting down their 3D asset platform, Remix 3D. Um, this was posted July 11th, so a couple of days ago. Remix is Microsoft's online hub for storing 3D assets, etc., and they're retiring it on January the 10th next year, which they've confirmed as much. I suggest using OneDrive. So they're telling you to use OneDrive to store your digital assets instead. Very clever of them.
Mm.
Right. Basically, this was launched as part of Windows 10, not even the original one, the update in 2017. And I don't know, remember, they introduced a 3D paint thing into the Windows operating system, which I'm not even sure that's around anymore. Basically, the Remix 3D was like the storage place Windows users would keep their objects for loading into the Microsoft Paint 3D thing and whatever. I must admit, I'd sort of forgotten all about it. It's not I know it's part of the operating system, but it's somehow bypassed my attention for all 3 years. Anyway, it won't be bypassing my attention anymore. It will be gone.
Mm.
Um, there are other 3D content libraries available. Google's Poly has creations made inside Tiltbrush and Blocks VR, and Sketchfab, which features millions of creations viewable in VR and AR. So you've got those two, and you really don't need Microsoft's Remix 3D. Not that you've got it anymore. Anyway, so get over it. Get over it,
Enough
folks.
said.
Right. Now, it's a nice little picture, this one. Dazed, yes. I think this is the old Dazed and Confused magazine. This is dazeddigital.com, DAZEDDIGITAL. So there's a double D where the days joins the digital, if you see what I mean. Anyway, the lady there is an artist. Her name's Laurie Anderson. She's been
Mm-hmm.
around a good
Long
long
time.
time, and in fact, she was married to the late Lou Reed in later life. But anyway, she wants to break your heart with her latest VR artwork. See, there's a headline. Says it all. The avant-garde icon lets us fly us to the moon in her most recent collaboration with Chinese artist and filmmaker. Oh, why do I bother? Husin Qing Huang. There you go. Yes, and oh look, if I move down here, I don't need to pronounce the name, do I? You can read it for yourselves, folks. Right, there we go. I'm not entirely sure what this is about, and I don't know. It's just so go to the moon. I did. It doesn't kind of equate with Laurie Anderson, but then again, what does? Um, they transcend the Earth's atmosphere to land viewers on the moon for an immersive VR experience. Our Chinese friend, whose name I refuse to try and pronounce again, previously worked as a game developer for Sega and Sony. And they say of Laurie Anderson, she isn't afraid of pushing her limits. Her avant-garde approach to her work as performer, artist, musician, composer, and director is exhilarating. Her latest project, To the Moon, is no different. I really want to make things that break your heart, says Laurie, of her intentions. I don't want to make it clever or interesting. If it's like that, good. But I want to create an emotional situation, like a song, a really beautiful song that then becomes your song. You're like, oh, I understand what it's about. And then you own that song. So, anyway, this is a 15-minute artwork, and she clearly hopes you will own it too, though I suspect you don't buy it, you simply stream it. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't give us much detail about that. Anyway, if you want more about that, go to dazeddigital.com or maybe just Google Laurie Anderson projects or something like that. So, it's nice to see some of these better known avant garde artists who aren't the commercial ones, really, but getting into experimental stuff with VR, what have you. Okay, moving along. Um, Psi.org or Phys.org, as in physics, I guess. I always say Psi, but I don't think it
Mm,
is.
mm-mm.
No, that wouldn't have an H, would it? So
Right.
it is Phys.org. Right, phys.org. Just like the logo there, except there's a dot where there's a pretty picture here. Right. VR app gives students a new way to see inner workings of cells, and this is exactly what it is. There's the chap behind it, Professor Paul Lapointe, who actually helped, should we say, create a virtual reality app that gives medical students 3D views. University of Alberta, and they're giving all their cell biology students a new perspective on their subject, and may also offer a glimpse into a not too distant future of post secondary education. Blah, 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 blah. But are you into cell biology? Is one of your kids into cell biology? Do you want to be into cell biology just for the head of it because you've got nothing better to interest you today? Well, in that case, check it out. And yeah, educational, of course. So go to phys.org, phys, pronounce it,
It
and
works.
check out. Yeah, as in physics, you get the idea. We now know that bit. Yeah, phys.org, phys.org. Anyway, and you can find more about this. Let's just give you a little treat here because I can. It's only 12 seconds worth of. Oh, don't tell me it's a cardboard job. Ah, yes, it's a cardboard job. But there you can see blobby stuff. So I presume in that case the app is in is a downloadable app, and then you use Cardboard. But anyway, I'm sure the students will find it useful. Okay, now I didn't have a post on this because I don't like putting up rumors and stuff. There was some post fairly recently this week about Apple giving up on their AR glasses or headset
Yeah.
plans.
Yep.
But I couldn't actually find anything that was verified by
Nobody
Apple.
can.
So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
pretty
I think it
rumory.
might be the
Yep.
yeah, it's a rumor mill, and there's a lot of it in these days of fake news. There are quite a few places that are more than happy to yeah, sort of give false statements on behalf
Flame
of
the
Apple.
fires, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's probably posted by Microsoft. So there you go. Oh, sorry. How dare
Goodness.
I say so?
There you
How
said
dare
it.
I say such a thing? Sorry, folks. A slip of the tongue there. I don't know what I was
Mm,
thinking. Well, what logic would there possibly be in that? So yes, slip of the tongue there. I don't know what I meant to say, but yes. Anyway, Samsung, however, are building foldable AR glasses. You'll find this post at virtualrealitytimes.com. This is three long words, by the way, as you see underneath the logo there. Virtualrealitytimes.com. Yeah, despite the fact that their banner says VR Times, it's actual Virtual Reality Times. Three words squashed into one. And this is today's post. Oh, I thought it was yesterday's, but maybe they're, who knows. Right. Um, and it's a picture of said patent, basically. Um, we're beginning to see these glasses and the idea that you'll plug them into your phones or something like that. So they're basically alternative display systems rather than actual things with processors and all the other contraptions on them, just way down your head. Um, the novelty with this one that they patented, I guess, is that they're actually foldable. You can see there the 100, those are all referencing degrees. And you can see from one side how it actually all sort of folds in. Um, I must admit, this is the kind of weather where I'm wearing shades, especially as my eyes get irritated from hay fever typey things. And all my favourite shades are, obviously the bits at the side fold inwards, but they're curved and things. They never fold really flat. So, um, I end up having to put them in the shirt pocket, and one end is dangling out, and I have to make sure I don't lose them and stuff like that. Whereas these, as indeed good shades do anyway, have ways of folding up, so they literally become a flat strip when they're not in use. And the extra thing here is, of course, is this funny little rectangle, which is basically an AR component. Frame activated screens. Not quite sure what that involves, but you can read all about it here. They do point out that this is actually only a patent. Um, so there's no guarantee that they're actually going to do anything with it. There is another picture of the same thing from a different angle. I love these little illustrations with a little sort of square, and it looks like a microprocessor board or something. They don't tell you what the hell it is. They still just show you the angles you can fold it. It's almost as if they've made up whatever that is to
no, they
make it
wouldn't
look
do
good.
that.
No, of course they wouldn't, but it does look good, doesn't it?
Right.
Anyway, so that's the stuff there, and that is obviously from Samsung. Right. And Valkyrie Industries is building a haptic VR suit for industrial training. Well, this piece of information comes from a site called Techcrunch. So it's
Hmm.
techcrunch.com. And the post was quite literally yesterday. And it is a pretty little picture of a pretty little person wearing pretty little contraptions, or rather, in this case, pretty large contraptions. Not little at all, really, is it?
Hmm.
Anyway, Valkyrie Industries offhandedly refers to current iterations of its VR suit as Iron Man version 1.
Ah, funny.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a woman. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a man. I don't know why.
Well,
Yeah, I'm looking closer now. You can't really
I
tell, but
don't
never
think
mind.
it's gendered.
Yeah, exactly. Not gender specific.
Uh,
It can be an Iron Man or an Iron Woman. Maybe it's Iron Man and Iron Woman version 1. Anyway, it's a fitting reference, says the reviewer. There's the very first half of the superfilm vibe to the prototype. These exposed wires are everywhere and large, clunky 3D printed pieces that clip onto various body parts. In a more finalized version, it would probably look something more akin to a wetsuit. For now, however, the wearable haptic product looks a bit like a bit of steampunk cosplay.
hmm.
Right, they met with the London-based team at the Brink Accelerator in Hong Kong, and the reviewer says he's a bit wary at first mention of a haptic bodysuit for VR. I always thought that haptic bodysuits are some kind, were going to be the thing. you know, uh, Long before the current, thing of Oculus and everything that's come since. About 20 or 30 years ago, I always thought I was going to be wearing a Lycra bodysuit with like strategically placed like suction cups sort of things, and
Hmm.
I would my body would, be like having a lot of mouse buttons all over you. And I must admit, I imagined a cable going from a belt or something into a USB port, and which of course these days would not be necessary. But yeah. It's a bit alarming in a way that all these haptic contrivances that they're coming up with now are so bulky. Not it's not just headsets, but looking at that picture, on the arms and everything else. I mean, what the heck is wrong with a lycra garment with the nose built into it? Do you really need all this other stuff? Sure, you need the glasses to look through and the things to hear, but um, as the review says, they have the real thing will maybe look a bit more like a wetsuit than what this one is. Um, let's have a quick peek. Here we go again. This is at Vimeo. I can't hear a darn thing. Oh, here we are.
Realistic haptics in virtual reality has a huge potential, and we envisage multiple new applications, ranging from remote procedural training in medicine, engineering, and military, to retail, both in the real estate and touch before you buy applications, and transport, ultimately achieving teleportation.
Okay, well, you get a little bit of that, get the gist of it. I changed out of dark mode halfway through that because I find this is quite a lot of videos. This is sort of strange when you're in this dark mode. There's this sort of a strange obstruction at the top, but never mind. Right. So startup has its eyes on professional applications rather than the fairly limited world of VR gaming, etc., etc. Read more about that at techcrunch.com. So that's TECHCRUNCH. Tech as in technology and crunch as in crunching numbers or eating for that matter. Right.
Would not
Oh,
have thought of eating.
right. We're on the last one. The last one now. Let's save the best for last. There's nothing on our Metaworld news stream this week. This one is simply on the main feed. Um, I'm not going to play you this one for sure because it's 1 hour 15 minutes long. But this is the end of May, so this is just over a month old now. At the University of Washington Reality Lab, UW Reality Lab. That's the account you would look for on YouTube. By the way, though, you can click through straight to this by going to my Twitter feed and find the link from there. I'm certainly not going to read out the long number Twitter gives you. Sorry, YouTube gives you. Um, this is an excellent little talk. It mentions Second Life, it mentions High Fidelity and stuff, but it's more it's Philip doing his vision thing a little bit, but also I suspect my request being a bit of the historian as well. So he's got an hour and a quarter to really talk about virtual reality and virtual worlds, then, now, and to come. And a lot of personal stuff thrown in there. So it's quite good. He's even got two screens to work with, and it's a sort of classroom setting, so it doesn't feel nearly as intimidating as like those TED talks when they stick you on a big stage in an arena, and it sort of feels like it is. It's Philip the school teacher as opposed to Philip the lecturer. I don't know. Anyway, but it's a very good one, and an hour and a quarter, it's fairly substantial, as you can probably guess. So If you want to know more about the state of the art in VR and stuff like that, well, the best people to listen to, I should think. If any of you just tuned into this show and really don't know what the hell we're talking about, then this person, his name is Philip Rosedale, can probably enlighten you. So anyway, go with that, and that has subsequently been reposted a few places this week since I first posted that. So you shouldn't have any difficulty finding it. Right, and yeah, I'm gonna freeze our sort of frame on that.
Oh my. Okay.
Um, yeah, there we are. Because that, believe it or not, is it. So I'm just going to let Philip play silently there for the duration of the show. So James, there we well, or what was it, eight or nine pieces of news? Anything there that took your fancy, took your interest, etc., etc.?
Well, I did like the story about the airlines and their using the headsets. I've always imagined something a little different with the headset being something that you would use on the plane. And
Yeah.
I remember seeing designs for an aircraft that would have video screens all around the cabin and let you see outside the plane as though the plane was made
Ah.
of glass. But you could certainly do that with a headset. Have live cameras on the outside of the plane and just put on your headset and be outside the
There was
plane.
so- there was
Watch the
some
clouds
there
go
was
by.
there was something in London, oh, not so long ago. I've forgotten how it worked, but it was they did a thing on the top of a building,
Hmm.
and you're one of those high places with a big view of London, and you put on a headset and you got an identical view. Then somebody shoved you out the window.
Okay. Sure.
Of course, you didn't actually fall out the window, but you had the experience of falling down, free falling down from the top of this tower in London and it's taking in the views in maybe a less than comfortable way.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, yeah, the one you're referring to actually was a big touring bus going from France to Spain.
Mm.
Although the company where they were working with was called something to do, it had flight VR or something in it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I agree with that. I think they're already. I think that there's been some experiments with these sort of self-driving cars. I think the theory being that you can get into a sort of round city or something, and in a kind of self-driving car that's a bubble because it doesn't need a driver's seat.
Hmm.
So you just get in and you will move into this bubble that will be a virtual reality experience while the self-driving car is taking you where you want to go. Now, whether that experience is a surround vision movie or whether it is actually projections from the outside, um, or just entertainment, or stuff. I don't know, but they should be able to do something. I wasn't actually watching it again recently, but I came across part of it. There was one of the James Bond movies, and it wasn't with the chap who plays Bond now. I think it was the one before.
Mm.
And in that particular one, he had a camouflage car. Whether it was his Aston Martin or another, I don't know. But he was in the Arctic or something, and he got out the car and put a switch on, and he sort of steps out of the car, and you can't see the car behind him. It sort of
Okay.
disappears.
All right.
A bit like sort of the special effects stuff we see in science fiction movies and
Hmm.
stuff, cloaking. And but there was actually real science about this. The MI6 buffoon Q, is it or something, who rigged it up for him. Basically, it had a whole load of internal cameras, and the cameras were taking the scene from the far side of the car and projecting it onto the outer surface of the near side. So what people were seeing was actually a projection of what was on the other side of the car. And so therefore the car seemed to be invisible, if you see what I mean.
Hmm.
So I mean virtual reality projections and things could actually be used in a similar way. I mean to create the illusion of things not being there. It's actually photographic trickery,
Hmm.
albeit it has to be 360 to be convincing. And whether it's very convincing when you get close up, I don't know. Well, you walk into pixelated trees, which are actually the surface of the car instead of where
Right,
you think
right.
you're going. But nevertheless, what you said about projecting what's really outside and stuff. I don't. Well, you can sort of see out the windows of most of these things anyway, if you really want to see out. But uh, I mean, imagine you're on a train journey. Um, Instead of just looking at the nice countryside and everything going by, you were watching the same thing in a headset or in glasses, but there'll be an overlay telling you exactly where and maybe little arrows pointing out, oh, and those hills over there are home to the so-called caves of um, cave buffoonery or whatever. So the scene outside your window
Mm-hmm.
as you're traveling becomes more informative and stuff like that. I'm sure that would come eventually. You'll probably find all the windows fitted to transport systems will cease to be windows anymore. They'll be simply transparent, display screens.
Yep.
But but these things still cost a lot and always will, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be quite a long way into the future. But we're already seeing, the number of big screens in very everyday places and touch screens and things. So 10 years ago, they were very rare to see. Now they're bloody well everywhere.
Everywhere, right.
Things move at really quite a pace these days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, any more thoughts on any of the other stuff? Or
No, I
that's
think
it?
I think that'd be it for me today.
Yeah. It's not like we had a huge selection, is it?
No, no.
Okay, well, I think we can round up and we will say our ta-rahs and stuff like that. And I will actually hurry off, actually, because maybe a way I can patch into a Neil Young concert in Ireland playing with Bob Dylan. So
Oh, yeah, very nice.
that'd be a nice plus thing to see, wouldn't it? If I
Mm-hmm.
can find if I can find the stream. Didn't have any luck before the show, but it might not have started yet. Right. Okay. So that's it, I think. So it's goodbye from me. As no, 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 no. Wait, it is actually, but let me say it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him.
Therefore, it is a fond farewell from both of us until the same time and the same place and next week, if you see what I mean. Have a good one.